TIFU by putting my cat's food in the closet. This was a yesterday fuck-up. But I digress. And it's a long one. I, 21 female, just moved in with my boyfriend, 21 male, and our other friend, 21 female, about 5 days ago. I'll call them Sean and Abby. We live in Western NY, near Buffalo. I have a cat, and the master bedroom that I'm staying in has a large closet that our landlord said can be used for extra storage. We didn't have anything that we needed to store for now, so I decided to make it the cat's room while we unpack. I didn't want her exploring the living room and general downstairs area just yet due to us unpacking all of our stuff. I didn't want her to possibly get into something that could harm her or make biscuits on anyone's suitcases. So for now, she's been banished to my bedroom. I feel bad, but it's temporary. Abby loves her as well and is happy to let her explore her room if she gets too bored. I tried to make it as smooth of a transition as possible because she gets nervous in new environments. She's only 2, and she's a tiger tabby, so she's very curious and very chatty. I put all her toys, her food dish, her litter box, and her cardboard scratching mat in the closet. I even sprinkled some catnip on the floor to get her more used to the smell of the place. Luckily, she likes lounging on my bed in my big comfy blankets. As I'm a college student who hasn't started work yet, my mom, who also has a cat, was gracious enough to give me about a month's supply of dry cat food to get us through the first bit of classes until my first paycheck comes in and I can get more. I put it in a plastic Ziploc bag in that closet as well for easy access. I had an event to go to yesterday around 7 p.m. and my cat eats every day at 8, so I asked Sean to feed her after I left. He of course said absolutely and was happy to help me. He was coming to the event quick at 8 as well and then to our other mutual friend's house. So he said he'd feed her around 7:45 before he left. I had to go early to set up. I left for my event confident that my kitty would be happy and healthy. Sean called me around 7:52 to tell me that he went into my room to feed the lovely princess, and then said not to panic. I, naturally, started panicking. He proceeded to tell me that he and Abby had found hundreds of tiny little brown ants in the closet, all over the floor, on the small part of the wall near the ground where it's boarded. And of course, they were attracted to her food bag. I thought I had sealed it up as tight as possible and that it wouldn't be a big deal. But I was wrong. I have contamination OCD. So I started freaking out. This is genuinely one of my worst fears. He told me that he and Abby had it handled. They cleaned everything up, swept and mopped my entire room, and taped up the sides of the wall where they suspected the ants were coming from. They moved her litter box and food dish out from the closet and kept the door shut. A few hours later, Abby informed him that the tape wasn't stopping them and they just kept coming. She removed the food bag and found a little hole in the plastic. And we aren't really sure if it was there before or was caused by the ants. Either way, the food is now unusable, as is her scratching post her toys. Luckily, we're salvageable. When I got home, Abby was waiting for me to help calm me down and tell me everything she saw rationally. They're only in that closet and haven't migrated anywhere else in my room. They cleaned everything and said we'd talk to our landlord about an exterminator in the morning. We ended up not going with an exterminator because those are super expensive. But our landlord agreed to reimburse us for any ant traps or sprays we buy. She also told me not to worry about the cat either, because she spent lots of time with her so she wasn't lonely. The cat wasn't eating any of the ants, which I was also worried about. But apparently she did like to swat at them and sit on them. I sobbed for hours. I refused to go in my room. When Sean finally came home about an hour after I did from his brutal loss at Magic the Gathering, He came carrying a can of Raid given to him by my friend. It was even orange scented. My favorite. Abby's mom seems to think they're thief ants. But these ones seem much smaller than the photos I've seen of thief ants. Abby caught some in some tape to take downstairs and show me. They're tiny and brown with a reddish tint. It doesn't look like they have any sort of stinger, luckily. Or my poor cat's butt would be stung to hell and back. So, we've allowed the cat to wander downstairs now. We decided as a household that we've unpacked enough that she's free to explore. Sean sprayed the Raid in the closet and let me sleep in his room for the night. He ended up sleeping downstairs later in the night to keep the cat company. It is now 6:30 a.m. the next morning. I am obsessively Googling the most effective ways to keep ants away and trying to figure out exactly what kind they are. I'm going to go in that closet and spray the Raid a second time and then go to the store and get some ant traps as well as airtight food containers for the foreseeable future. Her food and litter box have been temporarily rehoused in the kitchen. She's gotten lots of scritches and lots of love for being such a brave girl. Unlike her mom. If you've made it this far, thanks for reading my jumbled mess of horrified thoughts. I love bugs, but I cannot stand when there's a swarm. I hate ants now. Plus, I started my period right before all of this happened. Thank God for my wonderful boyfriend and amazing roommate. TLDR. I put my cat's food in a Ziploc bag in the closet of my new house and got the closet infested with ants. Luckily, they're localized to the closet and aren't anywhere else. Edited some typos I found.